session review.
Okay, everyone, I'm back for another fantastic session review. Last week was pretty interesting, but I will say, we're going to be getting through this one, but hopefully we can play some D&D this week. If not, it is what it is. But the next few weeks will probably be tough. I have a trip to Germany, and then after that, Peter, Drew, and I are going to festivals, so three of the D&D people will be out. But we'll see. I'm hopeful that we can still find some time to play in between all the chaos. But we'll see. So we'll get planning. But at least for now, let's go over a review of what happened in our last wonderful and beautiful session. So the first thing that occurred to all of you was that the Gorbelly's Gourmet Grimoire was given to you by Billy. Essentially, you can make feasts. They take an hour to cook, and then when you eat them, some effects happen. So you can get temporary 8 HP. Um, you can also get an additional 1d6 if it's eaten during a short rest. You can gain advantage on for the Boar Spirit Stew, Burnt Offering Skewer. Gain advantage on stealth checks and saving throws. The next weapon attack made by each participant deals +2 radiant damage. So, the idea is these are just some ways that you all can have a little bit more fun when it comes to the cooking. I know Bunny showed some interest in it, and Gorebelly, the idea was kind of a side fight. So I thought this was a cool item to at least give you all a little bit of ability to really get into this like concept of the cooking. So kind of a little bit of benefit for all of you. It isn't the most complex, but Bunny, if there are other spells you're looking for, if you go to the College of Summerhold, maybe even learn more about cooking, you can learn some very impactful spells or recipes or things like that. So hopeful this will at least add a little bit to the Bunny RP, although we'll see how it goes along. After this is Vykas. You guys might not remember what Vykas looks like, but this is what she looks like. And you all, specifically Cruel Wrench, dealt with Vykas again. So as Cruel Wrench walked out into the middle of the forest to do something, shoot Eldritch Blasts for some reason, Vykas took that opportunity to put them into a slumber and then attempt to get them to sign the second contract with them, although they are very upset with Pepsi or with Cruel Wrench for not keeping good to the contract they had made, which was for Cruel Wrench to give Gorebelly's power to Vykas. That was the original contract that was signed. So, that being said, now she attempted to convince Cruel Wrench into signing a contract with her. It didn't work. So then she decided to somewhat torment Cruel Wrench. So first, she used her knowledge of the world to show that to Cruel Wrench that PepsiCo was the one that spawned the Beholders at their orphanage all those years ago, the ones that killed their good friend Nacho Chez, and showed to Cruel Wrench that, this was not truly just random fate that Beholders were here, and it's not random fate that Cruel Wrench was able to just kill them easily. This was all planned by PepsiCo for some reason to infect Cruel Wrench. So this obviously is difficult, and then she tries to use this very impactful information to be like, join me, I won't lie to you. Cruel Wrench still denies. Again, very good to see this restraint from Cruel Wrench. Billy previously was talking about how he didn't like Gorebelly, so it's nice to know that Cruel Wrench was learning a little bit from that. And then after denying the contract again, Cruel Wrench is simply tortured all night long, so far away that it is nearly impossible for anyone to hear their screams of pain, as their body is feeling the pain, but it's really just their mind that is taking it. There's no physical effects on their body, but they do wake up with a collar around their neck. So this collar is Vykas' cursed collar. So, once per long rest, when Cruel Wrench uses contract magic, any contracted magic, the contracts are now very intertwined. The collar heats up, dealing 1d6 psychic damage. So, there's just once per long rest, pretty infrequently, but if you use Eldritch Blast, 1d6 damage. It's not, I might forget about it, it's not the biggest thing, but it's a little bit. If you break a verbal promise, that's 2d6 damage instead. Now, if you break a verbal promise, I think you're just going to take 2d6 damage. You have the Aura of Distrust. You have disadvantage on just persuasion checks made to convince someone um, that you are loyal to them or have good intentions. So essentially, it's difficult for people to believe you with this on you. And then if you cast a necrotic spell, you will have to roll a d6. On one, you have to make a saving throw, and if you fail to take the saving throw, you just take some force damage. So it's really not that bad. All honestly, this is what ChatGPT did. I had want it to be a very impactful thing. I hope more of the RP of the collar can be what matters. Just this idea of this weight on your neck, so to speak, of this demon, and hopefully that RP can live on, and the many characters you're going to start interacting with. So finally, what does the team do? Well, Cruel Wrench eventually kind of comes and says that hey guys, I got tortured last night. That wasn't the greatest thing. I actually don't know if Cruel Wrench reveals to everyone that PepsiCo was the one that killed their demon. I'm almost certain they did not. So the players don't know of this information. Cruel Wrench didn't really share too much or confide in the team. Kind of confused and doesn't really know where they want to go forward with their life. They do end up meeting with Hisoka, a warlock of the kingdom, and after some time, they learn from Hisoka that he is able to be such a high-ranking warlock because he subjugated his own demon. His demon being Sloth, he forced him essentially and say that I am better at combat than you. If you try to gain power, I will kill you, and thus he is able to continue using his power without himself becoming a demon. As the only other way he saw was that, but becoming a demon leads to needing to consistently attempt and gain more power. It's not something that someone can really control on their own. So, Cruel Wrench at first, and after some talking as well, agrees to the team that they don't think that Vykas can be defeated. Cruel Wrench believes that Vykas is too powerful to them, and it's time for them to go find some strength. And so, unanimously, I believe, we all decide to go with Luffy's crew on a high seas adventure. So hopefully we can gain some power from this, and hopefully we can have a fun time messing around in the unbelievable open ocean that is the open ocean of the Clover Kingdom. So very interesting sessions to come. Very excited to see them, and I hope you all have a great one. And I hope this video finds you well. See you next time at the session.